Come from the top. I gotta go from
Haircut
the top, not
discounts?
from the side.
Hey, I'll have a bill.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It is 5 PM, July the 1st, 2024. Time to call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. Ms. Jones, roll call, please.
Mayor Barnett.
Present.
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Chris.
Present.
Mayor Yellowstone.
Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Okay, thank you all for being here. Is there any announcements or public comments that does not pertain to the agenda? Hearing none, we will go to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the minutes of the June 17th Board Works meeting as presented, and also the approval of claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that gets us to old business, and I think tonight, finally, after 6 weeks, I believe we can ask to put this to bed. Request board action on proposed conversion of streetlights to LED through agreement with Duke Energy, City Engineer Mark Richards.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have 10 lighting contracts. For some reason, Duke had to break this out into 10 different contracts, but this will convert 719 of our existing streetlights to LED fixtures. It will reduce the cost, the monthly cost from $6,370.34 to $4,655.21 per month. That's a $1,715 savings. Over the 10-year contract, it will save the city about $205,815. And there is also a one-time rebate that's included that will provide an additional $22,230 to the city for a total savings of just over $228,000. The issue has been an indemnification and hold harmless clause that Duke had included in the agreements. They had indicated that because it's an IURC contract, approved contract, they couldn't remove the indemnification clause. Duke has indicated that this only applies to projects where the city is actually designing the layout of the lights, and that's not the case here. So Duke would not come after the city if they were sued for, say, a traffic accident where someone were injured or killed. That indemnification and hold harmless would not apply to the city. That would fall on Duke. Duke's attorneys did provide a response to Gene Rink, who forwarded an email to the mayor and indicated that. I think, didn't you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I just want to say I got the email that says everything Mark just said, and I want to attach that for our files to the agreement in case someday down the road something freak happens. We have the response that I got from the email.
Yeah,
So
Duke has indicated that, again, that this does not apply. It does not apply to this agreement, but they cannot remove it from the contract because it's an IURC-approved document.
Right, and I think Lynn had talked to you about it as well.
She had. She indicated that she doesn't foresee anything happening, that this becoming an issue, and it could be a little ambiguous because, as Mark indicated, it is for, it would hold Duke out and put liability on us if we were designing and installing the system, which we're not doing. So I feel, if Lynn feels comfortable, I feel comfortable with it too. I think this cost saving is significant, and I think it's great for the city.
Okay, I just want to, like I said, just want to make sure we get it where, when you do your laser fish or whatever you call it, that this goes with it. So,
And
okay.
Mayor, I would also
Laser fish.
add that I would request that the board authorize the mayor to sign on the board's behalf.
Okay. I feel good about this one because I did my due diligence and it took 6 weeks to get the answer, so I wasn't going away.
Did you work for it?
And that's what I told Gene. I'm not going away, Gene. Okay.
I'll move to approve going forward with the conversion of streetlights to LED through the proposed agreements with Duke Energy. Also approve the mayor signing on the board's behalf.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
And as I said, there are 10 contracts there. Requires 2 separate signatures, your signatures on the documents, and they're all marked on the,
Okay,
with the tabs.
okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, new business, retire service weapon, James Hoeing, who's getting ready to retire. So Deputy Chief Scott Summers.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. Yes, Jim Hoeing is retiring after 27 years with the Franklin Police Department. And as such, he's authorized to retain his, by statute and also by our rules and regulations, he's authorized to retain his service weapon, and the board needs to declare a value on that. You can see in your documents there that we value that as a $250.
We'll give him 300 for it.
You can take that up with him after the fact. I
I'm
suppose.
teasing.
So Scott, I know we've done this quite a bit in the past, but there's also been officers that retired that didn't want their weapon. Do you remember?
Sometimes some people are just indifferent to it. They don't mind. They don't worry about it. And then you also have to have 20 years, at least 20 years to qualify for it as well. So if someone leaves prior to then, they're not eligible for it.
Okay. I know we're going to miss Jim Hoeing. He's been a great officer through the years, and I know he's even served deputy chief, and he served as a temporary chief for a little while too, and did a great job. So I have nothing but
He's certainly a
good to
wealth
say.
of knowledge. That experience will be sorely missed for sure.
Yep. Okay. I'm good with that. It's the procedures, we can do it. So
Can we move on that tonight, Mayor?
yes, we can.
Make a motion to approve the retiree service weapon of Mr. James Hoeing.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next item, request approval and execution of change order number 1, final for the North Main Street paving marking project. Assistant City Engineer, Matt, go.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is for the final and only change order for the North Main pavement marking project. It is a final balancing change order to adjust the quantities reflecting actual pavement markings completed. The change order decreased the overall contract price by $34,986.68, making a total contract price or new contract price of $83,742.89. There is no increase or decrease in the allowable time to complete the project. So at this time, we're requesting approval of this change order and that the mayor can sign on the board's behalf.
Okay, and Matt, on this one, the reason there was such a decrease is because they didn't mill down in as many places to put the striping.
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. Part of the removals weren't needed because you're allowed to put pavement markings over the top of existing ones if it's found to be okay. So we were able to eliminate a lot of that work because they were able to go on top of the existing markings, or some were grooved off, and that doesn't count towards line removal. So that item saved a lot of money for the project.
Okay, thank you. And this is just a suggestion to the clerk treasurer's office. I think I'd mentioned this morning, Jan, that I just suggest that we take it out of the MVH Capital 400 series, but wherever you sees fit. So, okay. And we don't have to put that in the motion. I'm just putting that
Okay.
on the record. So, okay, we're ready.
I'll move to approve and execute change order number 1, the final change order for North Main Street paving marking project.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you on that one, Matt. Next item, request approval and execution of access agreement between the City of Franklin and Amphenol Corporation for installation of monitoring well on city property. City Engineer Mark Richards.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's my understanding that Amphenol has received approval from US EPA for their final cleanup plan. I believe it was submitted 2 years ago. And by the way, we have Chris Parks from IWM Consulting in the audience in case there are any questions that the board would have that I'm not able to answer or that you want to direct to him. But Lynn Gray suggested that we needed to have an agreement in place for installation of a monitoring well on city property that's not public right-of-way. There are some drilling locations that will install either injection points or monitoring points within public right-of-way along the city streets. And we handle that typically through a permit program through my office. This is a little different situation. This is on a separate parcel. So Lynn wanted to have some sort of an agreement in place. She had me model this agreement on the joint use and maintenance agreement that you approved with NDOT a couple of meetings ago on the school zone beacons out on State Road 44. So I drafted something, had Lynn look at it, and she made some red line changes. I made those to the document and then sent it off to Mr. Parks. He got Amphenol's signature back, and so that's what brings us to this point. Exhibit number 2 of the document shows the location of the proposed well. It is in the northeast corner of the parking lot near Hamilton Avenue. When that's installed, I'm sure it will be a flush mount casing with a locking cover on it. So I guess I'd ask if there are any questions about this. If there are not, then I would recommend approval at this time. If you have questions, we'll do our best to answer them.
Okay, is there any questions? So I will just tell you, this Amphenol, this started for us 6 years ago, July the 8th. And we feel like we are at our final stage. This is to monitor, to make sure that what you're doing when you're putting, I want to call the bugs down in the ground that eats up the contamination that's way down in the ground, that is going to monitor to make sure this is working correctly. And if it isn't working correctly, then you go back to the drawing board and EPA and do something different. But the other thing is, I want to make sure people realize, and I want to say it publicly since we're on YouTube, this is not a dangerous situation. This is just to monitor to make sure it's not a dangerous situation. We are getting to the end of this Amphenol situation, and that's another one, 6 years that we met, I don't know how many weeks that we met on a weekly basis. Matter of fact, it was several years. On a weekly basis we met, Tara and I.
2 years we met weekly, and then we started meeting bi-weekly, and then now we meet monthly.
Yeah, so it's been a long hoe, the road, and we're about there, a long road, hoe. So we're about there. So I feel good about what you guys are doing with the final stage. And the reports that come out last year, I'm really happy with the reports that come out that the Indianapolis media did not cover, but we won't go into that today, but it's been a long time coming. So anyway, we're about to the end of it. If you got any questions, please ask.
Sir, I noticed that you've got a dotted area that's in between 2 homes. Am I seeing that correctly? And that's between 2 properties there? And is there anything raised? Is that on an easement between the 2 homes? City property. City property, okay.
Mr. Austin, that's just the parcel. It may have been a former alley or something, but it's just, the dashed line shows the outlines of the city property.
For the street department garages.
Okay, thank you. Get my bearings here. So I guess another question would be, is it a similar devices that's currently being used across the street that's been there for 30 years? Is it a similar system?
Can you go up to the microphone and talk and just kind of tell them about how the pump and treat system is going to be taken offline and then what you're doing?
Chris Parks, IWM Consulting. Yes, so the monitoring well will be similar to what's over on the corner of the grass lot.
Sir, can I have you start over? I think what we probably need to do is tell the process of what you're doing, putting the screen in, and then you're going to put the bugs in the ground, you're going to shut off the pump and treatment system, so all that stuff won't go through the screening that you're putting in. Because I think I think everybody needs to understand, this is just to monitor what's there. So go ahead and tell them.
So starting around July 15th, we'll be injecting chemicals or bugs on each side of Hamilton Avenue, the north and south side from about the corner just over to around the intersection. And then we'll move south and move up Forsyth Street from about the creek. And then we'll also have work going on site as well. That's where they'll be injecting stuff. And then we're putting in monitoring wells. Most of them are on private property, but there are a few in the right of way to monitor what's happening after these chemicals have been injected. So that's what the purpose of these for. And we have lots of monitoring wells on site, which aren't flush mounted, but those are actually stick-up casings. But these will all be manholes
Okay.
on the ground. So
I was just curious if they were going to be similar to what you had there across the street.
yeah,
which are-
yeah.
Which
except-
are up off the ground.
No,
Okay.
no, there'll be a flush mounted
Okay,
manhole.
thank you.
So we'll inject these, and then these we'll monitor for 5 to 10 years, depending on how quickly things react, whether we need to do additional injections or not, so.
So at the Webb water field, where IDEM has been injecting stuff for a couple years now, at least a good year and a half, is that that's the same methodology, right?
I'm not sure exactly what they're injecting over there, but it probably is something similar, if I had to guess.
Yeah, because they are seeing fantastic results from what they're trying to do.
Yeah, so the stuff we're injecting actually along Forsyth Street, it's basically, most of it is liquid carbon, so it'll absorb the chemicals. And then we'll also inject a mixture of zero valent iron with it, and that creates an anaerobic reaction that actually breaks down the chemicals into non-harmful byproducts, so.
Are you extracting it out once that happens, or
Nope.
it just stays?
After we inject, actually, as we inject along Hamilton Avenue, we'll be shutting down the recovery wells on the on-site remediation system. So you'll actually be getting about 1.5 million gallons a month capacity back to your sewer system as well, so.
And what that amounts to is a subdivision that's got 180 houses in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's significant.
It is. It's good timing.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Now, being new to this 6-year journey, my naive question was, by having this well on city property, does that transfer responsibility to the city? But Mark assured me that that was not the case.
No, it's just a monitor, so.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're ready for a motion.
I'll move to approve the execution of the access agreement between the City of Franklin and Amphenol Corporation for the installation of a monitoring well on city property.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Chris, I'll have a copy of the document out to you in email tomorrow morning.
All right. Mark, I think we're actually scheduled to install July 8th. So.
Okay.
Okay, next item. Request approval and execution of change order 01, which is final for the Crowell Street parking project. And I will say that this is a Board of Works project, but the funding come from the FDC. So we're on the same page there. Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is a final balancing change order. Reduces the cost of the contract and the project by $24,365.03. The original contract amount was $280,200, and the revised project amount is now $255,834.97.
All these reductions, this is
Amen.
awesome.
Wow,
I'll move to approve
that was quick.
change order number 1, the final for the Crow Street parking project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Next item, to obtain the mayor's signature on sponsors MOUs for the 2024 Parks Department Superintendent Chip Warner.
You'll notice that there is a list of sponsors that we've secured for all kinds of different events at the amphitheater. This is the first batch. We try to batch them together so I don't have to do these one at a time, but every meeting all year long. This is the first batch that you'll see. This should be a meeting or two later. We'll have a second batch. These just require the mayor's signature. So.
And I think we are to, and we do every time we have a function somewhere at the amphitheater, we thank all the sponsors and you know, people talk about how do we have these free events? Well, this is how. So I would suggest that people patronize some of these sponsors when you can. So thank the sponsors for that.
I'll move to approve the sponsors outlined on the MOU as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item, I will make a motion to approve, I will make a motion to approve the request to file liens on unkept property.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start, Sally, we'll start with you this time.
I don't really have anything. Thank you.
I would just let everyone know that the paving project, the community crossings project for this year is nearing completion. I think about the only thing left is some pavement markings, maybe casting adjustments on manholes, that sort of thing. So we'll hope that NDOT gets their share of the community crossings funds sent to us so that we can pay the bill. And the Active Adult Center project is, they're going to be starting fairly soon. We're still waiting on, I think, the final report on removal of asbestos from the existing structure, as well as disconnection of utilities. I think the gas company is scheduled to do their remove that gas service next week sometime. The contractor has to receive letters of disconnect from all the utilities to verify that that work's been done. So we're starting to move forward, but and I think also, Josh, aren't you going to be using the building for a little bit of training or something?
Yes, we're going to get in there and tear it up a little bit before they tear it down.
Don't let it fall on you.
Try not to, sir.
With the termites, don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
I want to talk just a little bit about the roundabout on Earlywood. So I've been asked a million times, why have we not, if it's supposed to have been done, we're 40 days behind is what we're going to be behind. And I want to tell everybody why, because I get asked that every single day. Duke Energy has failed to move their poles and cables. They're out there now working. But what people don't understand, and I explain this to Duke, it's not this one project. We've got Graham Roads held up by the same thing, trying to get the utilities moved. Now, they're going to be working to move those utilities at the same time. We should have had Graham Road done that would have been our bypass for when we're doing Earlywood. Now that's going to make a special difficulty to finish the roundabout and Graham Road. And then we're going to move up to Paul Hand, that roundabout, which is 40 days behind because of Earlywood's 40 days behind, same contractor. And then it throws Whiteland 40 days behind because Whiteland has a little section of Graham Road that they were going to widen while Paul Hand was closed. So I don't think that the utility companies understand. It's just a big snowball on how it slowed everything up. So, and that happens quite a bit with all the utilities, and that's why I'm on the utilities all the time. They had 2 years' notice, good year and a half notice, and it's just kind of unacceptable in my eyes, but what are you going to do about it? So,
You're saving money with LED lights.
yeah. Yeah, and I will say we got a break there with that.
Bright light on that.
Yeah, this is a pilot program with the lights. We're back to the lights. We were going to do that a few years ago, looked into doing that, and it's $1.5 million. So
Right.
I guess we're getting that project done, and they're going to pay us $20,000. So, yeah. Anyway, I just want the roundabouts done. Okay, I'll get past that. Sorry. Anything else, Mark?
No, sir.
I'm on a roll today. Brett?
I was just trying to find the silver lining for you. Just to make the board aware, appreciate, we had our first safety council meeting this afternoon in conjunction with IPEP, which is the workman's comp entity for the state. So I think we had a short but effective meeting. So appreciate all the department heads for joining and or sending delegation. So I think we've got a pretty solid path forward, and hopefully we can, create a mindset of hopefully zero workplace injuries. At least that's the goal, and hopefully we can have a positive impact on the overall workman comp exposure that the city has, and maybe help us out on some insurance rates and other things as we move forward. So I will keep you posted, but wanted to let you know that we did kick that off this afternoon, and I like where we're headed.
Thank you, Brett.
Yep, thanks.
Krista?
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Rick?
Nothing, sir.
Okay. Sherry?
This is Heavy Trash Week. I'm asked that every first full week of the month, so it is. And Thursday, Friday, we'll be running on a one-day delay for trash due to the holiday.
Okay. So hopefully they're watching this on YouTube and everybody will know, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Chief?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Deputy Chief?
Nothing for me, sir.
Chip?
Nothing for me? Oh, I'm kidding.
Can't get that lucky.
Just kidding. Fireworks are this coming Wednesday, July the 3rd. Blue River Band will be playing, and the fireworks are set to go off at 10:10. If you haven't saw my Facebook post today, I explained to you how we make those kind of decisions. Mostly they're economic decisions, be quite honest with you, because it costs us money to cancel, especially this event that has fireworks. You can go look at the figures on my Facebook page. It can be up to $20,000 is what it costs us not to have the fireworks. The moral of that story is we're having the fireworks on July the 3rd. I don't know if it's 10:10. It might be 9:40. It could be 11:02. But I'm banking that it's not going to storm the whole time, because I did see it's 70% chance of storms. But it is what it is, so
Okay.
that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have anything, Mayor. Thank you. Looking forward to everybody be safe on the July 4th weekend.
So I just want to give kudos to Chip and staff and any of the mayor's staff that solicit these sponsorships. This is impressive.
Very much.
It really is. Great job. I know it's a team effort, but thank you for doing that.
I'll pass that along.
Thank you, Tina. Tara? Jan? Lynn?
Just happy to be here, Mr. Mayor.
Glad you're here, Drew.
Thank you.
All right. I don't have anything to add today. I've said enough, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
It's all good. Yeah, I had her name tag.
Oh, you too, I gotta get